17. I'm recording this so I don't have to write it all down. I just had a dream. It was when I were in the house, it was raining out. And we seemed to be fighting. It seemed like the harder I tried to hold her, the more she tried to pull away like she was looking for a reason to fight. And then, like she'd let it go for a minute and act like everything was okay, and then slip away from me. She kept opening the windows, and opening the screen door, and I'm losing a lot of it. There was so much of it. And then at one point she spiked me in my neck with something. Yeah, how's that feel? Good? The baby really liked it. And I kept asking her, why are you doing this? Like, what is wrong? Just come here. And then at one point, my phone was in my hand on the couch next to me, and it got real big, and there was porn on it. And she got up and walked away, and it was... I kept thinking she was trying to let somebody in. And then all of a sudden, there was a guy on the porch. I could make out a shadow of a guy, and it was a cop, and he had a gun. And one time I went to shut the door, the screen door had the keys in it, and a lock, like a padlock. And I said, oh, it's a good thing I caught that. And then the living room window was open, and all of a sudden the cops come, and he comes in, he says something about a sniper, and one of the cops was George Messerschmitt, and the other cop looked like an old Greg Shimkowski, and I got into a fight with him about, oh, you were a junkie. I said, that was 3 years ago, and I did my time, and what are you gonna fucking... And Greg got pulled away, and then George was the lead detective, and they went to start searching my room, or the baby's room. And there's two females, and the one had a blue and white jacket on. When they went in and got the baby, and the one cop kind of had a hold on my arm. And I went and got a smoke, and the one cop, I was standing there talking to him. It was real calm, he was real collect. And I knew him, but I didn't know who he was. And then they came out with a ripped up black balloon and a burnt spoon. And I looked at Liz, and she just turned her head. And then she was in talking to the one lady. It was all set up, like the whole thing was set up. And they came out with the baby, and the dude that was holding the baby was a giant. The guy was huge. I don't even know how he wasn't hitting the ceiling. And then they came out with 2 bags of weed. And and I held the baby. And he started crawling over me, but he had this real soft sweater on, but it was pink. And it was a real soft, he has this brown sweater. And his sleeves were too long on him, he was still like a little baby. And I was holding him, and I could feel the sweater. And as they came out with 2 bags and rubbed it in my face, kinda, and I looked at Liz, and her eyes were rotten. And she had that smirk on her face. And they said, they handed him to her. And I said, oh, "Thanks, Liz, you just put your prints all over him." And they hurried up and grabbed him back out of her hand. And I woke up and I could feel the baby vanishing in my arms. Like my arm I could feel him shrinking into nothing. Like he was in my arms, and then I woke up and he wasn't there no more. And right as I woke up, it was 4:11 and the baby cried.